Gikan sa buhisan, bisitahon nato karon ang usa ka importante nga lugar sa Cebu nga gigamit nga headquarters sa Kempeitai, ang Japanese Secret Police. Atong sutaon ug unsay nahitabo niining headquarters nga karon mauna ang administration building sa Cebu Normal University.
When the Japanese overran Cebu or invaded Cebu in the 1940s, this school was used as a garrison. Actually, the first Kempeitai garrison was the SNI dormitory. That's now the Visayas Community Hospital. After June 1944, the Kempeitai garrison was transferred to our school. And unfortunately, it is our school which has become notorious as the Kempeitai garrison because a lot of atrocities were committed within its precincts. After June 1944, many prisoners came here. They were arrested by the Japanese, usually in the dead of night, and many of them were tortured and later executed. Many of the sites in this school were torture chambers. If not torture chambers, they were used for executing the prisoners. The rooms on the upper floor were used as living quarters of the Japanese troops, which is now the conference room, was the room of the comfort women. Beside the conference room is the room of executive assistant and presidential assistant for planning. And that particular room was the interrogation room, where newly arrived prisoners would be interrogated. And of course, together with the questions, there would be a lot of beatings and tortures. On the ground floor, those rooms there would be the cells of the prisoners. That room there, which is now the Commission on Audit Office, was the office of the camp commandant, who was identified by one survivor as a man named Yoshida. The portion of the wall that separates the accounting office from the classroom next to it was filled with scratches of the prisoners. It seems that they had been marking the time, the number of days that they had been there. As a matter of fact, I distinctly remember my mother told me that when the school was opened sometime in 1946, they were already holding classes here, and I think it was the accounting office, where she saw a scrawled message. And the scrawled message read, "We are now 27 days here. I may go anytime. Goodbye, my mother." But there is a section of the wall where you can still see some of the scrolls of the prisoners. What is now the university president's office was the clinic of the camp physician. Directly underneath used to be known as the dead cell. It was because many of the prisoners there were maximum security prisoners and they were scheduled to be executed. That portion of the basement, which was the counterpart of the dead cell, was a place where they dumped not only their trash but also some of the heads of the people whom they had beheaded, as well as corpses. They were just dumped there. That wall, which is still part of the main building, was the place where some prisoners were lined up and shot by the Japanese. That place there, where the stage is, this basketball court, is also a burial place for the prisoners. Sometime in the 1970s, they noticed that the building was already becoming very dilapidated, and so the administration decided to have it demolished and replaced with a new one. When the laborers started to demolish the building, they noticed that there was a tunnel. And so they followed the tunnel, and they discovered that the tunnel went across the street, Jones Avenue, and connected to Abiliana as well as to City Central. So it seems that the Japanese had already this kind of escape routes if they would be hard-pressed. Between this building and the new library building, there used to be the old laboratory school. And in the 1970s, when the administration decided to expand the laboratory school, they had to uproot a particular tree which used to stand there. They were able to find an intact skeleton with a metal case. This metal case, of course, was used by doctors. That skeleton must have been the skeleton of a medical corpsman or a doctor who was attached to the army. So he must have been imprisoned here, executed, and his body buried in that place. We were able to obtain pictures from some prisoners, surviving prisoners, or the families of the surviving prisoners. Some of them actually died or were executed here. We have chosen 3 important topics. The biggest topic, of course, has something to do with the prisoners. One of our prisoners there is Mr. Jovito Abellana, whose memoirs were published by the University of San Carlos under the title, My Moments of War to Remember By. Of course, we got names from other sources, from interviewees, from other books, and so on. Aside from the prisoners, we also have some pictures of people who were once students or teachers in our school, and they fought as soldiers during the Second World War.